You're all experienced performers, and you've participated in many, many ensembles, being at Orpheus for so long. What is the difference between rehearsing with others in person versus virtually?
Rehearsing virtually, there's just a lot of problems that come with it. You can't really play together. There's also all the problems with like Wi-Fi, mic quality, noise cancellation, echo, all the original sound. It's kind of just hard to hear good guitar playing over like Zoom calls and stuff.
Online, it's a little bit harder to communicate with everyone, so if you're like communicating offline, like it leads to like better synchronization because we can all see each other well, and therefore a better performance.
Being high-level performers that you are and working together virtually as long as we did, what advice would you have for other students who want to collaborate or play virtually?
Try to listen to your playing as much as possible when you're having those online rehearsals. Sometimes your mic can have problems, your Wi-Fi could go out and stuff like that, and they might not hear some problems with the playing. So if you like just see something, just address it. You could get it fixed, and then or you could just have it as a bad habit for a long time until a in-person rehearsal. Also turn original sound on.
Yeah. So original sound and a little bit more self-aware practice, being aware of every aspect of your playing and your setup before you enter a group situation. Yeah, everyone as individuals, your preparedness and how set up you are and ready to go really has a big impact on the dynamic of a rehearsal, especially when it's online. Mei Yin, have you or the group encountered any technical issues while rehearsing over Zoom, and what workarounds did we find?
Internet connectivity problems, and we use like Ethernet and usually Ethernet and stuff, and sometimes upgrading Wi-Fi to get better connections, and then also playing individually so our sounds wouldn't overlap and sound bad and distorted because there's usually lag.
Yeah, totally. Upping our internet connection, I think having a good internet connection made everything more fluid. And microphones, I think pretty early on, Mei Yin, you all invested in a nice microphone, and Brandon and Alan too have nice audio setups. Definitely helped. We rehearsed virtually for a recent competition for many weeks, if not months. And then finally we were able to actually meet in person and rehearse outdoors. What was that like, being able to come together after all that time?
I think it was a lot easier and more connected and fluid when we came together in person because we could all play together opposed to online when we each had to play individually.
Yeah, totally. Was it weird having your part learned and knowing how it fits into the ensemble as a whole, but never having played it in person, and then all of a sudden being in person and able to play it with everyone and everyone else knows their parts? Was that like kind of strange?
I wouldn't say it was strange, but I thought it was nice to hear all the parts together as one in person.
Alan, this question is for you. What were some of the things that you did individually to keep up the energy while we were rehearsing online?
I guess when someone else's mic is unmuted and they're playing, I would just play with them with my mic muted so I could get a sense of what it would sound like in person.
Interesting. So you had the opportunity to play along with other parts without affecting that person. Because we had the option of muting, unmuting, that gave you a little flexibility to practice along with other people or practice your parts during a lull. Whereas otherwise I'd get a little mad at you if you were practicing your part while I was talking.
Yeah.
Good. Brandon, can you tell us about the process of preparing for the competition and what pieces we played?
Well, getting ready for the competition for me was a little bit uneasy. Eventually, we pulled through. We played the songs West Side Story by Bernstein and a poem by you.
Alan, this is for you. What was it like working with the composer of one of the pieces, myself, while we were rehearsing? From your point of view, was I more picky with that song in particular, or was it different? And no pressure. You can say whatever you want about working on my piece. My feelings will not be hurt.
Okay, you weren't pickier, but I feel like you just had a more clear view of what you wanted the piece to sound like. Like in other pieces, we would experiment more and see what sounded better, but you generally knew what you would intend for the piece to sound like.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I hadn't actually thought about that difference myself, but I guess it makes sense. When you write a piece, you generally have a pretty good idea of how you think it should go. Mei Yin, another one for you. Can you tell us about the Southern Guitar Fest that the trio, now quartet, recently participated in?
So it was originally held online and we submitted videos. Yeah, I guess it was practice of running through it many times. And then I also think listening to each other and listening to our playing to help us improve the recording next time.
I think that's big. We did 2 back-to-back recording sessions, do one and then listen, and then do another one after having listened and made a bunch of notes. And I think both of the times the second one was always better because you guys made so many improvements. Mei Yin, how did you feel the competition went? What was it like waiting for the results to come in after we had submitted our videos?
I think the competition went pretty smoothly because it was online. We just submitted the video and there wasn't much like hassle to it or anything. Personally, for me, waiting for the results wasn't that bad. Like, I don't find it as bad when it's online compared to in person, because in person you have to like sit there through the concert before they announce the results. I personally didn't find it that nerve-wracking waiting.
Brandon, how did you feel coming in 3rd place, and how did you celebrate after we got that great news?
It was very exciting when I heard that we received 3rd place, when so many people participated in the competition.
Mm-hmm.
So I celebrated by being happy for around 1 to 2 hours.
That's a great way to celebrate. It lasted 1 to 2 hours? That's it?
Yeah, that's pretty long for me.
So 2 hours and then just back to normal?
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. What's next for the Orpheus Honors Quartet? What are you currently working on, and what's the next goal? Michael, maybe you could take this one.
I know we're working on 2 pieces right now. I think La Folia, and then there's the Vivaldi one, I think. There's the other one called Quest. And then we're obviously playing in South Carolina for a performance thing.
You joined the group fairly recently, in the last couple months. You had to learn a lot of music really fast. What was the process of learning all that music like?
I took it like how I take any new piece. I don't think about the whole piece. I think about just certain sections, like a few measures, play them really slow and try to make every single note perfect. And when I feel comfortable, I just speed it up. I repeat that for other sections, and then eventually I put them together and then get them up to speed.
Great. Those are all great practice strategies. Doing slow practice, working in small sections, and just doing everything very gradually. The quartet has played a few different styles of music. We've played Baroque music in the Telemon. We've played some contemporary music in the La Folia and the Quest. What kind of pieces do you enjoy playing the most with the group?
Probably right now it's La Folia, just because I feel like it's different than anything I play. It kind of tells a story if you think about it. And then there's so many different types of textures. It just sounds really different in a good way.
Michael, I like what you said about it telling a story. That piece does kind of morph over time and change in beautiful and unexpected ways, like a story. Another one for you, Michael. What aspect of ensemble music is most enjoyable to you?
Probably a little bit of everything. I've been in previous ensembles, like a few years ago. There weren't anything compared to this. All those other things were just like a few weeks, maybe a few months, I think. But I mean, we kind of just played and then kind of got over with. There wasn't really any bonding, kind of. It's kind of enjoying what you play rather than just playing it to play.
Totally. That is so cool. Okay, and this is the last question for everybody. The four of you were invited to perform live at the North Carolina festival called Southern Guitar Festival and Competition after receiving a top prize in an ensemble competition. Is there anything that any of you are looking forward to in particular about that trip?
I always like to travel for competitions. I think it's fun. Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to go to the festival as well, because I usually like going to other festivals and going to master classes and stuff and seeing other people.
I'm looking forward to just listening to the other people play since they were extremely good at guitar, the ones that we competed against.
All right, you four. Thanks for doing this interview. Very nice, thought through, very well spoken answers. I think this will turn out very nicely.